All right, ready? So we're starting right now. Welcome to Beauty Empire TV, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of style, hair care, and grooming. I'm your host, Jason, and in each episode, we sit down with talented stylists and barbers to hear their stories, insights, and expertise. Today, we are joined by Miss Simone Monae, also known as 804 Braids, and right next to her, we have Kim Draper. And on the other side, we have Flav Edwards. And we have the legendary Haywood Watkins here with us today.
Legendary.
Hey everyone.
So I'm going to start this podcast, live podcast, with just asking some questions, and then later on I'm going to open it up to you guys to talk about anything you guys want to, get off your chest.
Ooh.
But I need to get some questions answered. So we'll start with Miss Simone.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Start with me.
Well, you're on my right, that's why.
Latest.
Speaker, is your thing on?
How?
Yeah, it's on.
Yes. Hey, how you doing?
Okay. So, first question. Can you describe your experience in the hairstyling industry and how long have you been a hairstylist and what drew you to this profession?
You said, can I describe it?
Yep.
It's been a blessing
Mm-hmm.
to my life. Um, it's been a blessing to others, and it's been an exciting ride.
How'd you start? What got you
Um,
motivated to start?
well, just long story short, because the story could be very long, but my mom taught me at 9 years old how to braid on my Barbie doll head. I remember like it was yesterday, her showing me the finger motions. And then when I was 10, I started braiding my own hair because she would hurt me really bad. You know, if your mom did your hair when you was younger, the pulling and when she's watching TV and she taking too long to go to the next braid and she just holding the hair right there, all of that. I was tired of it. So I did my own hair. And then at 11, my grandmother paid me $65 to do her a set of box braids. And she told me never to work for free. And then I bought a cell phone because back then you had to have minutes. So I bought a $25 singular wireless cell phone and I had to keep minutes on my phone. So I would do some of the neighborhood kids' hair, some of my friends, little $10, $15 cornrows. Shout out to y'all. Keeping my phone on. Um, and then I never stopped. But at 19, I had a very life altering situation happen, and I ended up in a relationship that was not good. It was very abusive. But during that relationship, I was able to start doing hair. I was mobile. I was going to people's houses, and that's how I was able to get out of my domestic violence situation with, as being a hairstylist. So that really blessed me. I was able to get a car because he used to take me to people's houses. Then I started saving up my money, bought me a car, ended up leaving him, got me a place to live, and I was shocked that I could sustain myself as an entrepreneur. So at 23, I got my own place, and I was like, wow, I could really do this without a regular, clock in job. And yeah, and then fast forward, I'm 33. My birthday was August 2nd. Ooh, summer baby. And I'm still here doing hair. So I'm grateful because through this skill that I already have, which I believe everybody have multiple skills installed in them already, I was able to better my life and better my family and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And what was the last one?
What drew you to the profession?
Oh yeah, survival. Survival. My skill got birthed all the way, bloomed out of survival. And now I'm thriving and now I'm not in survival mode, but now I'm just in a growth mindset where I just want to grow and reach back and help other people, pull out their inner courage to push past life's adversity through their skill set. So yeah, that's my answer.
Okay. Well, Kim, we've already asked you this question before. So we're going to move on to Flav on this one. Flav, can you describe your experience in the hairstyling industry and how long have you been a hairstylist and what drew you to the profession?
Okay, so let's break that down real quick. You just asked me a whole lot.
What's
You
your
never
experience as
answered.
a hairstylist first?
Mhm.
What's your experience as a hairstylist?
What is my experience as a hairstylist? I will honestly say my experience as a hairstylist has been life altering. Um, I feel as though God has given me a gift that has been plentiful in so many different ways. He has opened the doors for me to have been in the company of some wonderful spirits. Um, Being a hairstylist truly is a therapy. I think that anyone, you could be either a hairstylist or a hair cutter, right? That's my classification. Anyone that you can teach how to cut hair, and that's no offense to anybody, this is just my definition. Um, you can teach anyone how to cut hair. It's standards. If you go to school, you will realize you're gonna get. So, can you hear me
All right,
now?
so I'm going to ask a question again since we lost audio. Can you describe your experience in the hairstyling industry and how
Uh,
long you've been a
my
hairstylist and
experience.
what drew you to this profession?
Oh, okay. I've been doing hair for Jesus. I'm about to add age onto this thing now. I've been doing hair since the age of 6 years old. I've been licensed for 20 years, licensed as a stylist and educator for 20 years. Experience as a hairstylist, it's like I said, it's a remarkable position. It's one that I feel as though you're blessed with. And anyone who has the opportunity to do someone's hair, uh, please feel privileged and honored because touching someone's crown is nothing to play with, period. Touching their crown literally means you're touching their spirit and you're able to alter how they feel about themselves, about how their perspectives is something that you should never play with. So if you think that just doing hair is just to make a quick buck, please move to the next McDonald's. Yeah, that.
What drew you to the profession,
What drew me to the
Flav?
profession? Honestly, it chose me. I mean, so honestly, my mom told me um, when I was little, she said I picked up a comb and never put it down. I it was something literally that was God given. I didn't know. So serious. I didn't know doing hair was a thing. I didn't. I just knew I took pleasure in doing hair. I took my sister's dolls, literally, and start cutting on them. And, you know, at that time, my dad was not big. He was not a fan of it, right? So I was told that my dad, I came from a lot of hairstylists. And I was told that my dad was like top notch, but he was like the macho kind, whatever. So he had a stigma based onto it because at that time males doing hair was considered to be taboo. So his hands were lethal. Like his sisters were jealous because he just knew it was just a natural instinct for him.
And he was a stylist as well.
He was a stylist as well. But he would not allow himself to be known by everybody. Like he did his sisters, but he wouldn't do nobody outside the family because in public's eye, you know, that's how it was. And for him, it was taboo. So, you know, he was that overly masculine male. Um, so at one point, I was forbidden to do hair. He saw me take my sister's dolls, and I would get punished.
Did they respect hair as a profession?
Yes, they did, but once again, he didn't want me to go through. I later found out he didn't want me to go through the persecution of being looked at a certain type of way. And for me, I didn't know no different. I just knew that when I touched hair, I felt good. And my mom, my sisters were spoiled. because they didn't have to go to the dresser anymore. Because when they seen me do it, they was letting at 10 years old, they was letting me cut their hair. And I may not have known exactly how to do it, but I would look at something and recreate it. And and my grandma was like, leave that boy alone. And before you know it, it was just what it was. And mind you, it was a very difficult situation because my dad did not. Yeah, we had moments. Yeah,
They didn't respect hairstyles.
yeah, and that was the thing too. It wasn't respected, but like I said, to answer that question, I was drawn to it. Like it was literally like something that I craved to do.
Haywood, grab your mic.
Yeah, let's go.
Can you describe your experience in the hairstyling industry? How long have you been a hairstylist and what drew you to this profession?
Yeah, he's legendary.
You just
No, it's nothing like that. Um, um, I've been in this industry for 55 years.
Mm.
Wow.
Um, I knew early that I wanted to get in this profession. There was a gentleman by the name of Jerome Jones, used to cut my hair. And when he would cut it, I just felt so good when he cut my hair. And I said to myself, and I mentioned to Jerome, I said, I want everyone to feel like I feel. He tried to discourage me from, he said, you don't want to. I said, no, I really want to do this. I want to do anything. If it's about hair, I want to be able to do it and I want to master it. And later on, he found out I had gone to school for it. This is back in the 60s. It was Richmond Barbers School. And the guy, it was owned by Jones, but later on, Raymond Lee was one of the instructors. And he ended up being the head person there, and he purchased the school from the Joneses. And when he had given me a test, my mother curved me there because I was doing the Vietnam days. That's how we drafted in a minute. Had a lot of number for military. And I said, let me take this up because I'll be leaving soon to go to war in service. So he gave me a customer that came in. He cut one side, and he mentioned to me, "You do the other side." So I did the other side, and he said, "How long you been cutting?" I said, "This is the first time I ever picked up a clipper or anything in my life. Never did." So he immediately gone to my mother. He said, "Wait a minute, how long has this he been cutting?" He said he's never cut it before, and he mentioned that I was a natural. And I was going like, okay, I don't know what a natural is. I'm just doing what you told me to do. And from that, learning and watching, and I give a lot of ring to Raymond Lee because he had all textures of hair I had to deal with. And when we were coming up, we only dealt with people about color or hair that was a thicker substance. Hair was straighters. We had to do all textures. And it was black and white, but whites kind of go to lunch and they'll turn around and clean their clippers when a brother or sister come in there because they didn't know what to do with it. But by doing that, it gave me the opportunity of doing all textures of hair to learn from that. And from that, I always wanted to excel with it. You get to a point, every day you go to work, every time you touch someone, you just want to do better. It's like, it's a brand new day. It's like, I don't know anything. I just want to make this better. I don't go in like, I know this or I can do this. You have a vision, but you got to be humble in your experience and your efforts of styling and just get into it. And you have a vision, you just master it. You try to find out what's best for it. But during that process, I had taken, while I was still barbering, I got an apprenticeship and I was going to Richmond Technical Center. So I never stopped working. I go to school at night. Got a cosmetology license. So I went to excel with hair. It's about hair. And a gentleman by the name of Adam Isidore Adams from Chicago. He used to go around selling posters. And he wanted to introduce to the Wall Clipper Corporation, setting up a ethnic group. And we're black stylists, black barbers, because you go to the Barber Brothers show, and some of the companies didn't even go to the show. Back in '72, I had the opportunity to work with Paul Mitchell at the Barber Brothers show before he passed. It was an experience. I would do things. I didn't want to pay. I wanted to experience. I wanted to know, how do you set a stage up? How do you? What is the dialogue? What do you do behind stage? What is it when you're out there shining on the platform? What's happening in the background? So you really, you have to just dig into, open yourself up, be humble, and do whatever you can to learn. And from those experiences, Mr. Adams presented to me. He had some different people around the country because he traveled all over selling his posters. They flew us out to Sterling, Illinois, and I worked with. This is do a set it up. We'll do a show at Warner Bros. Small little booth, like an 8x10 something. Had a few products. We sold them out like this. Kept doing things like that. So Wall brought us in. Did their training, for how fast does a clipper go? What's the weight of a clipper? What kind of motor it is? Why you use this clipper opposed to this clipper? Some things we do naturally or learn, but we don't have the technology corporation information to teach us that we don't know both ends. And then they found out what in the ethnic division, what clippers were not selling as much as would in another company. And I found out that like Andes has the Andy Master, that's a wall motor on the inside of it. So they created the motor, and Andy's in the wall to open their own division, but they actually didn't get the rights to use their motors. So each time Andy's doing it. All this kind of musical information that you don't know unless you're in that profession and get the exposure. Everyone can do it if you just in the exposure, doesn't have to get blessed to be there. And
Hey, if you see like the posters, he went around with Isidore, and you'll see pictures by Haywood Watkins, and then the posters made by Isidore Ad.
yeah, did a lot of photography work.
Yeah, we see it, man.
Yeah, it was just an opportunity that was presented. And when it was presented, when that door opened, you had to be ready to go in there. If you open the door and make you kick back out, But it was just a really blessing of opportunity to get there. And when we would get there, we had a lot of conversation about the opportunities. Isidore, we would travel all up and down the East Coast selling posters. So I had a chance to deal with different salons, different personalities, different divisions of people on. We would do everybody from here to Florida on the exit on one side. We do everybody from Florida back, exit on the other side. He had a system of working, showing how you can actually do more things than just behind the chair or right behind the chair. You're working on customers. Customers, you have the right person. When you get photo work, you make the poster. The poster, you make it. Wall, pay for the poster. We sell it. Thank God. It was a system, and this was always people. I would give my ideas, and okay, we'll do this while we're at the show. We end up having different things to sell. We would talk about the clipper should have a light on it when you're using it. When we have the meetings, how you can make this clipper better? Well, you can cut, you can take clippers and cut. You can have a monitor you can see on the monitor from the clipper while you're cutting, for the stylists can see what's going on. So it's always, you have to be thinking. And after a while, you think, wait a minute, this company has people to motivate. They come up, we give them this information. Well, not been anyhow. I would think you see the bigger picture. And if I step back, as a kid, my mother used to go. I used to ride with her when she was going to cosmetology school, and I think that had some impact as well. But I never did do any into the females' hair until I later years when I was working at Harvest. He came up with the Afro Master and the Afro Master comb. He was the first one to come out with the Afro Master comb. So the different eras of when I was cutting hair, they were close, and then the hair started growing out, and from growing out, then we would start doing the jerry curl, and we would do the wave nouveau. We were doing the biochemicals, currents, So to go from a generation where you're cutting both haircuts, you get a lot of hair, a lot of chemical companies will fold because people weren't using relaxers then. And I get tickled when the youth come along, so you know how to fade? That's how it's fade before you move on. So I said, and then you get a chance to judge competition, to go to pivot point for training, to understanding how many strokes within an inch, how many times that blade needs to move in testing and high-end international competition. It's a different format, and that experience is priceless. And I would I ask most people when I ask them, who buys the most clippers, barbers or cosmetologists? Most of them said, most of the barbers, we buy the most. But a corporation, more cosmetologists buy clippers than the barbers. They don't like 175,000 barbers, and you have 1.x million cosmetologists. If each one of them just bought one and you all bought 3 or 4, you still can catch up. So understanding that, then you go to the ramification of changing the weight of a clipper because they like a lighter clipper. You go from experience of having the blade, what they call the hammer syndrome, the weight of the motor in the front, put it in the back so they have a better flow and easier to use. I could go on about that technology kind of part, but it just goes from experience. And then what you learn to do when you own platform, what you say out your mouth, you get trained to be able to educate people. All of us can cut. You can get a thing cut, but when that microphone is on you and you can hear yourself breathing, you have 1,500 people in front of you, and you just go, you hear, reality hits you. And to watch from that little booth with Isadora Adams, and we were there in different ones that he brought on the team, to watch when they would bring the main station stage where you have this circling around and you can put barber chairs in a long runway. And overseas, they have it where you have a live band behind you. They have 3 runways. They have a big dressing room in the back. And 1 million people come in 3 or 4 days going back to a show. And when you have that exposure, like I said earlier, it's priceless. So a lot of times, anyone that I try to encourage or the platform of trying to elevate them, sometimes people say I'm too hard, but I'm trying to just be ready for wherever you go in life. They will want you to be working for this company. This company will want you. This company will want you. Because you had a little more exposure or you're a little more training for they'll say, this is what I want. You work this pretty well. I work with Luster in Atlanta. I work with Calvin Clippers. So, I've had some exposure with companies, but to really get in, I don't want to go too far off of my experience.
We got 30 questions.
Yeah, 30. I want to what you might ask me.
Kim, can't hear you.
Were y'all discussing ergonomics, like I know you said something about heavier and lighter clippers, but was that like major
Well,
when
yeah,
they were?
most females like to have a lighter weighting clipper. That's what most of their complaints, because it's too heavy. They'll pick up something, I don't want this
Oh,
because it's too heavy.
okay.
And when you find out that you go from the magnetic counter clippers where you can touch the blade and it stops moving,
Hmm.
you'll go to a pivot that has more power, and you have a rotary. So all of these things fall in place when judging what to put in a clipper, and some that might run hot, or the blade might run hot because the motor's too strong. And you see $1 million machine go in and design it and talk with teeth to be further out, back, how much hair that goes through it, how fast, and watch it produce. And then you get a chance to try it out.
That's amazing.
And so you get some clippers, have some clippers there that never made the market. But you get boxes of these and boxes of this, and they want you to write up this clipper was fine, but it's as a stylist or a barber, that light and glow. Some clippers, people who I like this because it's shining, but they know how to market.
Yes.
They know how to take blades and dip them and turn them from silver to gold, because they know certain groups will buy this because of the way it looks.
Right.
But it's just like having a Chevrolet and a Ford or a Lexus. You get a Lexus, you still got a Toyota motor.
It is a Toyota.
It's the same thing, just
Exactly
have
right.
different bodies on it.
Yeah.
So they'll switch the bodies around, and a lot of times it was hard to find how many blacks were buying a clipper, how many whites were buying a clipper. So what they did, you could have the same clipper. One is the 5-star series, one is a steroid. So most of the 5 stars are sold at the black shows. And then you have steroid shows at the other shows, but they had straighter shows, more white and the straighter hair. So they could monitor and figure out where their sales were going, because you can tell who's buying more or less of anything.
Right.
And Mr. Jim Wall, we used to let them know you did not have a good liner. And
And it's had the best.
Andy had the best liner. He said, what you mean? Wall outsells Oyster and Andes combined. Those two companies put theirs together. Wall outsells them. I said, yes, but you don't have a good liner. And Jim was going like, what do you mean? So in the F division, they didn't know that. So they said, you didn't know one clipper company in the world. That's because you don't have no line. Well, we outsell those two companies, still don't have 90 F division. I said, okay, we talked to Mr. Walls, and he said, well, anytime you want to go to any black shops, anytime, he said, let's go now. You're in Sterling, Illinois. He said, let's go now. He didn't want anybody to set up shops around and show that they didn't have it. He went to see for himself. This man owns this company. There he goes. He'll go to a shop. He'll go in. There's a door introduced him. There's a wall up over. You see it?
He's talking and
All over the place. I said, okay. Get back in. Got that one. By the 5th, 6th shop, he said, I got it. After that, that's when they came out with the detailer. And that flipper is actually, it's designed, the curvature of it, where you can hold it flat on the head, because it has a curve to it. A lot of people don't know all the functionality of how you use it.
I have one in the drawer.
So, but you have the ends there, you cut half the clipper in half and stick it out there because it gets hot.
Yes.
And they have enough you can work with your finger. Well, that's technology. I'm getting all into some other stuff. Yeah.
You got to know what you're doing. If you don't know.
Yeah, and that goes from understanding why something was done, and that's how we can sell because you would know why you're selling it. And you get that information, then you act like you know something. I didn't know it. I just haven't been taught it. So now I know it. Then I can get up on the stage and act like I know what I'm talking about.
That's awesome.
That's all. It's just anyone. It's just to expose you. And people trying to be platform artists, they're sending resumes and doing all these different things. But there's a certain that they have to bring to the table. Because a lot of people want to be on that stage. A lot of people want to get up there and do certain things. But you to be nurtured, so when you get a chance to be in that position, then they'll bring their attention to you. You can get in a place and not make it, you don't have a clue why you didn't do it. You know, but if you're a coach, I think, you know, besides being blessed and the opportunity come, just be prepared for it. And I've had people to fly in, I've had people to drive here, I've had people to show me, and we'll go through it. And one person was, I said, don't be nervous, I'm down to earth, man. Don't you gotta impress me, because I'm gonna chew you up. I'm chewing you up so you can spit it out later to be better. So you don't have to impress me. But I'm gonna tell you everything you're doing wrong. And if not, I'm gonna think of something. And I'm just messing with you, because the audience will ask you stuff. You have planners when you go places that they know the answer. So when they ask you, you have to be humble enough to say, excuse me, I don't know it, but I do my research and I come back, I'm gonna let you know. But you have to keep from being sued. You know, you do this, do it, no, you have to say, I think. That's not the company. So there's a lot of trainings involved, that's all. And it's a lot of the little bit I'm trying to expose and tell you all.
So how long have you been with Walden?
Well, I'm not with Wall now. I hope Wall they hear this. Excuse me, Wall. I'm just talking about my past experience. It was like 20 years, and through that platform, you get spoiled so far to go to a show and you nice hotels.
Well,
You get flights in different levels of different companies.
when I was in school and we needed a clipper, they said go see Mr. Haywood. I didn't even know who you were, but everybody knew to go to Mr. Haywood if you needed some more clippers.
Yeah. So that's just what I,
here. What does Mr. Haywood use?
Right.
Get that.
oh,
Yeah.
let me try to use that to my advantage. but to go to a plant and watch how a clip is made was a great experience. They had more women in the factory putting the clips together, clipping and watching. Like, it, okay. I okay.
All right.
I don't know why. I just, but in my mind, I wasn't thinking it. But I just like, I would never thought. The go shopping blade, how they adjust, how they work the passenger, they'll check it out. That's going, wow. And they never, they would say they didn't fire people unless it was something that had to happen, had to let them go. They created more space in building to keep people there. And they were just telling me their record why people like working with Wall. And it was just, you don't know how blessed the exposure is until you go through it.
Mm.
And I try to share and inform other people. At one of the shows where they called the buyer shows, they had I didn't have a tag. So they gave me the president's tag, like Joe Wall. So I would go places, oh, come right in, you know. I said, okay, I'm using, he said, I get you straight. I was just using this tag. So they had the flat irons, they would go in and curve, they had different lights, they had the ones, they would show all these companies coming around, they would buy things, they would show different companies that they want to introduce you to everything. So it's, you just get the bigger picture of this big industry. But what I found the most, that's just the manufacturing and equipment part. but most, it happened in my latter years. We as stylists have a responsibility when a customer is in your chair to do something, to leave them with a higher level of appreciative life, feeling better about themselves, to encourage. Uh, then I didn't understand it earlier, and now as time has passed, because we sacrifice from home, time goes by a lot, and you're trying to balance it out. And my wife can tell the world, time management, and you accommodate, you have to get your rest, you have to get more professional, you're trying to help everyone all the time. But it's something that you love and have a passion in. You don't get tired, you get tired physically, but it's not the same tiredness. And you find out about energy that you spoke about earlier. There are different levels of spirits that people have. You have to experience that. You can have people that can bring you down, and you have some people that can elevate you. Then you have some people that you can work all day long and you still hyped up with the energy. So it's a responsibility on our end to pour in the ones who need it and to try to uplift them while we go through this process. And we need to detox ourselves because we can get burnt out.
Absolutely.
And when you do something at a point that in service and it didn't go well, it really affects you. And it gets down to your soul. You pour your soul out to accommodate, and you're trying to do everything the best, and you can slip and fall because nothing's perfect. And when you do, they remember everything you did incorrectly. You learn your basics, and you learn about different things that come on that you use, and you have a problem with someone's hair, then it comes back on you. And everyone will point to you. Like I look at a lot of political people that run, they can find out when that person did something wrong. They forgot all the good stuff they did. And it's when you get knocked down and heal, it's a little bit harder to climb it back up, but you get more wiser. And you stay focused and you find out your own strength at that time. But the blessings come. There's a lot of prayer times that I put in. I'm going like, Lord, show me, because I'm at a crossroads. I love what I do, but I've learned you have to be more of a blessing. And a lot of times people say, hey, what you going through? What's wrong? I said, the different things can unbalance you. And you just have to get back. It's like a tire. When you're out of line, it'll wear different. But once you're in line, it's a smoother ride for you. And life is beautiful. I don't know. You don't know how blessed you are sometimes until you look back. And as I'm speaking now, I've really been blessed to make it to this level. And soon I'll be passing the torch over. But I'm looking to pour into someone to be like the Olympics. Someone that's dedicated to really put the energy in it, to learn, to get the experience. Because all of those had coaches. But when I had a stylist, we were working, and when they told me, I got it, when they said that, I cut the cord right there. Once you get to the point you can't hear it, you don't want to hear it, you're like, I'm there. I said, boy, I have so much to tell you. But I have to respect that. Catch up. And I'm not talking about what you put on French fries either. Trying to put a little humor here, but
All right, let's ask another question.
did I talk too long?
No.
My mama told me a closed mouth don't get fed. So since you put in that comment, let me know when you think about things and
You know.
Okay, I will.
I
Okay.
just want to make sure I put it out.
We're gonna dig deeper into Haywood's experiences.
Listen, that Haywood is, he's a
No.
podcast all by himself. He
I,
has
I can be on that.
all of this wisdom.
Hi.
Hello.
All right, we'll be right back. Yeah. Now. So we have been joined by Miss Charmaine Eaglin.
Yes.
She's here with us. And we're going to ask her the same question that I had asked everybody else. So, Charmaine,
Yes.
can you describe your experience in the hairstyling industry? How long have you been a hairstylist, and what drew you to this profession?
Uh-huh.
Let's see. My experience in the industry. Let's see. Where do I start? I started off as a stylist. That I went to actually Johnson's Beauty Academy, but I didn't finish at Johnson's. I finished a registered apprenticeship
Okay.
through some wonderful ladies, Diane and Tanya, over North Side, and then I became an instructor at Empire, which led to me being an area supervisor for Regis in Hampton Roads. So I managed probably about 10, maybe 11 of their locations in the Hampton Roads areas for some years. Came back to be a academic director at Empire. Eventually a director at Virginia College, where some of these friendly faces that I know quite well. Um, so from there, and that whole time, I still did hair. I still maintained my salon and still had a robust clientele. So I never got my hands out of the hair. Eventually, went from a director of Virginia College, and now I'm the registered apprenticeship consultant for the Department of Labor and Industry. And also, I own a consulting firm that um, really specializes in beauty care education, service trade industry, and the lack of continued education, I would say. What drew me to this industry is what other job do you get to do that you get to make people pretty and you get Hallelujah. So that was my draw.
So, Kim, since we've already asked you these questions, I'm going to ask you a new question. What are some common mistakes people make with their hair at home?
So I find a lot of times, and it's not a but there's so much uh, advertising out there, so much marketing, there's so many things that's available. You could be up late at night watching an infomercial, and they're saying this makes your hair silky, this makes your hair soft, and I'm sitting there looking at the same commercial going, your hair. But it's just people are drawn to whatever looks pretty and shiny and nice, and sometimes they're just being cheap or not, or they need an answer and they think they have the answer, so they're buying product and they. So really, it's kind of lack of education.
Do you think that TikTok has anything to do with that?
Social media is big, and we can use it to our advantage if we want to make money, and or do we want to help people? And some people go in with the wrong, motives, but TikTok has a lot to do with it. And some people at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everybody wants to become a YouTube stylist. Or I saw this on YouTube, and they bring it to you and say, make me look this way because the person on YouTube looks this way and they have my hair, but you don't see that they cut the live or, whatever, they did something else. Or they may not have the same hair as you or whatever. So, and it could be a plethora of things. You may not even be on the same medication. Medication may be taking you through your changes, but it's not the actual product. So, I think the mistake that people make at home is they don't educate themselves. I had one lady contact me, a college student, college graduate, I'm sorry, college graduate as in PhD. So she has a PhD. Her hair was not synonymous with her title, and she was having some problems. And she was calling me, and she says, "I've been using this um, brand that is on the $5 and under shelf, and her hair was like straw." And I said, "So, what are you using?" And it was coconut oil. And I said, "Do you know what coconut does? Just do me a favor, Google coconut." And I just said, "Google what coconut does." She said, "Oh, coconut seals the hair or whatever." So if you keep piling this on your hair, you keep piling this coconut on your hair, what do you think's gonna happen? And you're not washing it out. Your wash and go has washed and gone, right? So I was like, "You're using the wrong product. You're like piling this stuff on, your hair is dry." So now, so it's just education. We parents are not black and white. So sometimes it's they need to reach out for help. And sometimes in order to be good at home, you need to go to a professional and get the information and then go home and try to, maintain your hair at home. But you can't always do it by yourself. So now I find the mistake that people make is they try to do it themselves or they use the wrong point of reference or the wrong reason. So I feel like everybody should at least once consult a professional because we can't go through life without a therapist or some type of motivation. You might need medicine, or you might need somebody to talk to you, or you might need both. But I need medicine and a therapist, and I'm not afraid to say that. But I'm just saying that, I mean, you can't go through life thinking you already have it figured out. And a lot of people just do that with their hair. And we can tell. Sometimes I say, "Oh, your hair looks so nice." My daughter did it, and I want to say, "It looks nice." But I'm not, I just feel like, and I'm not trying to be, and I say, come on with me. Come on. You need this car. You're beautiful, but, yes, yes. You just need some knowledge. And not saying you're going to be my forever client either. You just need some knowledge.
Okay. Simone,
Hey.
I got another question for you. Can you share an experience with a client where you just jacked up the hair? And how did you handle it?
Well, when I first started, like I said, I was mobile and I was going to people's houses. Um, and this lady is actually to this day, this is my best client. This is my best client. Lady has turned into my godmother. She claimed me. So I was 19 and I did her a braided updo, and I didn't realize with cornrows at the time you are supposed to stretch the hair, stretch the head. Like you got to put your head down if your braids is going up, because then if you're sitting up straight and somebody's braiding your hair up, when you move your head, it's going to be a lot of tension back there. And I bumped her whole back of her head up. It was red. She light skinned, and it was real. It was bad. And she called me the next day, like, "What do I do?" And I'm like, "Put a hot rag on it," or I don't know, because I'm just, hey, that's what happens when you go to somebody who don't have a license, who's uneducated. So, which that's why I ended up going to hair school, stuff like that, just to learn more about hair education. But she actually liked my personality and gave me another shot with another style.
Okay.
So my personality won her over, but I'm sure if I wasn't as kind or as personable when I messed her hair up, she would have never came back.
Wow.
So for me, she was understanding, and thank God it wasn't a chemical service or burn or something crazy like that. But yeah, stuff like that would happen, or their hair would slip out, and they're like, "I just paid you," which now I gotta re-educate myself on the techniques that I'm doing and why is this happening. Clearly, I'm using too much hair. So that trial error phase to where now I just do what I know I can do good, and I just try to leave other stuff alone that's gonna mess me up. So yeah, my
Charmaine?
personality pushed me through.
So in your experience, when did you ever jack up a client and how did you deal with
I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm the best stylist that ever did it.
it?
But I'm trying to think of one because I put it out of my mind. No.
Well, I'm asking the question so that you can give advice to like the up and coming stylists.
In the beginning, I took on a lot of things that I was one of those Renaissance stylists that I felt like I don't care the hair and ethnicity, whatever, I can do it all. And because I took that approach, I literally would take on blondes before I really understood. Oh, yeah, let's go blondes. So I worked at a chain, an unnamed chain, I'll say. And a young lady came in and wanted to go from a level two, maybe even a one, to a platinum. And I was like, sure, sure. I mean, I like her. I believe you have development of students. So I didn't factor in. I didn't factor in undertone. I didn't factor in on on scalp, off scalp, because I was fresh. But you couldn't tell me I wasn't getting ready to make this girl blonde. So the first application was okay, but as soon as she pulled so orange. I mean, it looked like an orange highlight. And I'm in this chain. I'm a little bit older because I came into the industry later in life. And so the other women assumed that I knew what I was doing, and they weren't giving me any help. They were like, she jumped up and took it, and I couldn't figure out why they wouldn't. So I went in again with 40 developed. No, I think I might have did 30, 2 scoops, and I was like, I got this. Still on the scalp. The same day. And at this point, she's orange highlighter. So I go in again, and I'm like, I just got to do one more app. If I just rub it and I look at it, I'm going to keep the integrity of her hair. She's got plenty of porosity. She had density. I knew the language because I read the book. So I go to rinse her out, and that hair got translucent. You know what I mean? When that water hits it and you can see through the hair, and I was just like, but then to add insult to injury, her scalp started bleeding. And I love the Lord. He loves me. And I felt like he needed to wrap his arms around me at that point. Wrap his arms around me and just shift me off, like just take me out of the shop right now, if you could, please. And so, as she's sitting there bleeding at the scalp, I'm sweating. I'm just gonna run out of here. So I rinsed her hair, and luckily, this girl's hair was strong. She had a good strength. She had a good, and so she had a leopardy orange blonde. It was everything. And the toner didn't take. Of course, at that point, color was not. There was nothing that was going. Her follicles were fried. Nothing was going to deposit. I didn't even know what shade to put on. And so there was nothing I could do but leave her to the next day. So remember the rapper that came out at one point called Vitamin C? She was a blonde girl that had orange hair, and so she kept screaming, "I look like Vitamin C." So needless to say, we refunded her money, and and I conquered blonde, I wasn't gonna stop. You know, now I'll take you
So
down.
it made you.
It made me aware of my lack of knowledge. It made me aware of reading the back of products. It made me understand that color, and that going back to what Kim was saying before, YouTube will give you all these fantasies, but it takes that extensive experience. It takes knowing that you can't take someone to a 2 to a level 11 in one sitting. If you do, you got to know what to do if something does happen. You got to know how to tone. You have to know how to put the porosity back in. You have to know how to find out if the elasticity can handle another application. So it's a it's not as cute as the quick YouTubes. Even the professionals now, when you see them, the thing that was killing me on TikTok forever was them taking the clippers and cutting across the hair, and I was saying to myself, what happened when she puts her hair down? You know, it's like you cut straight across this woman's hair, but you know, there's occipital, there's a whole nother angle that you haven't dealt with when she bends down. So you know, I think YouTube. I think TikTok. That's just more clients for me. Thank you. Just keep on, honey. You can do it. I'll see you when you finish. So yes, that was the worst experience I could think of.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. So, Flav, same question for you. When did you jack up a client's hair and how did you deal with it?
Ooh, well, I had a 2 for 1 special. Um, I had a young lady, and I was working for a chain, which I will not disclose, but I'm sure everyone knows. um, so yeah, so um, I I had to work on being humble. I'm gonna say that. Um, I felt as though because I was blessed with such a talent and didn't um, have formal training per se. Um, no, excuse me, that wasn't a chain. This was a private salon. This was a private salon that gave me the opportunity to take a chair, right? So we already know what that means. So this is just me picking up. I'm a lady book, reading, looking at the angles. You know how the angles look all sweet in there. You're just like, oh, I got this. You know that type of situation. Not even thinking about how the position of a client matters. Um, this young lady had her legs crossed. We were just conversing, chopping it up, and I learned a lot about consultations from this point. So I want to go ahead and put all these things out there now. Um, Asking very important questions, lifestyle, what do you do? All those things are factors. So this young lady, she wanted an asymmetrical bob. Um, Mind you, never did a bob before. Never. I was in the, you know, stocking cap, glue down, quick weave. You mess it up, pull it off, glue it back. That's how, that I was in that. But of course, in my mind, what's the difference? This is going on her head. So I got it. And she's like, yeah, I got a party I'm going to, and I want this bob. I want it real nice, and I want a Chinese bob. So that's what we kept on using, Chinese bob. So I'm like, okay. And so, she's sitting, legs crossed. And I seen this little technique, where they take the clippers and just hit the back of the neck. All right. So she's, mind you, I just combed down her hair, didn't worry about no parts anywhere. She's combed down her hair. Mind you, her hair is right about here, and she wants to do a bob. Question not. That's what you asked me for. I'm gonna get it. So we're talking, and she's doing this, doing this. And I was like, yeah, yeah, mind you. So she's talking to the towels over here. And when I look down, when I look down, I have to be honest with you. I had no more stomach left. That was the one time where I was praying that God just took me away because all you heard was that noise to this day still runs chills down my back. And if I hear it, I promise you, I will pull back and I'll grab myself. I have to grab myself it because of what I knew that happened at that particular moment. I just wanted to, I wanted to disappear. So mind you, her hair is like at her actual like back of her arm. She's legs crossed and she's talking to the stylist. And all you heard was and when I turn and I'm looking, now the clippers are still right here. And I'm like, I'm stuck. I'm just stuck. My body froze. So the stylist beside me, she's like, she's kind of like trying to get my attention, and I couldn't move. I literally could not move. So the young lady turns around. So now she has a gaping hole on her side. So everything is long. She has about 2 inches of hair, and then it's a gaping hole. And it doesn't make it any better because there's light coming from this other stylist station that's coming through her chin, right? And once again, I can't move. Sharon, I never forget her name. She came over and she said, "Baby, walk with me." And the whole time, I literally could not. The clippers were right here. I could not like move. And so the stylist was like trying to get me away from her. I want pulling the clippers out the wall because I'm stuck. The young lady, she's like, at this point, I think she's kind of where I am because she's just like, don't know what to say. So they took me in the back, and the whole time, when I tell you I'm crying, and they're just like, "Are you okay?" And I can't say nothing because all I can think is her hair is on the floor. I can't pick this up. I can't glue this back. And the girl, like slowly but surely, she's starting to break down, and you're starting to hear her. And she's like, yes, she's wailing. I'm crying even more because she's wailing. So the stylists are trying to get me together. And at this point, like everybody in the salon, and it's like maybe an 8-station salon. Everybody is in the back with me trying to get me together. And the client, they're trying to get her together. So eventually, the owner came over to the side, which of course had to have been a guy. And he didn't make matters worse. He didn't make matters better because he's like, yeah, that's, of course, he made his comment. She went louder. So, needless to say, one of the senior stylists came over and she literally had to have her whole entire head, like shaved up. She had that, salt and pepper. Almost like a salt and pepper, but she was more or less like Mei Ling off of MTV with the little. She almost had a Dora type bob because it was the way that it was cut. I took off too much. So from that point forward, I took a week out of the salon because I didn't know. For one, it was humbling, but I think what scared me the most was the fact that I heard her and I couldn't get rid of hearing her cry. And it really bothered me to my core. And it messed with my confidence. And at that moment, like my mom really had to work with me because I was like, I can't, I just destroyed, like in my mind, I broke her and I didn't know what to do to fix her. And it was a one time to where I'm the one who caused her to feel this way. So that's why I take this so serious now, because to hear someone shed a tear that you created and they have to look at every day, it's and it taught me that things change in a split second just because a lack of knowledge and ignorance and being unteachable and not knowing that you're unteachable until someone who's bold enough to come to you and say, baby, you don't know everything. I get the fact that you have the confidence for it, but sometimes you have to sit down and be humble and read. And from that point forward, I was so receptive in everything. I don't care if you came to me and told me to comb the hair this way just to see this. I was receptive to everything because I vowed from that day forward I would never make anyone feel that way ever again. And I prayed that if I did, God take my talent away. That was the only time I can tell you that I really did like botch someone up and I felt like I just like broke her. Um, and I actually met her once again. Um, God looks out for fools and babies, and his mercy endureth forever. She saw me in the grocery store, and literally, what did I do? Froze. Because she took me back to that moment.
Yeah, you couldn't put your hand like.
Yeah, she took me back to that moment. She stood in front of me and she said, I want to thank you. I looked at her and I was like, thank you. Thank you for what? I broke you. And I said that to her. She was like, you may have thought you broke me, but you helped me understand that hair is not everything. And I saw myself differently. I understand it happened and I'm not mad at you. And she said, I feel like you're holding, and I was. She was like, I feel like you're holding on to it. Let it go. She was like, I was hiding behind my hair and didn't realize it. And I mean, when she gave me that, when I tell you once again what I do, broke into tears. But it just taught me that like literally, he gave me the opportunity to understand that my gift is a blessing, but it can be a curse if you don't pay attention to it. Our hands are lethal if you don't pay attention to it. We can either create beauty or create disaster. And it's all about lack of knowledge. Yeah. So I know you weren't expecting to get all that, but I mean, mine really did come with like, yeah. Because I'm gonna tell you, I was for a moment I walked away because I was terrified that I literally I felt like I broke her. Like she had gorgeous hair. So when she asked for that, I was like, this Bob about to be slamming. And now it's like when you in my chair, if your neck don't look right, sit straight up. You got on heels, take them off. Straight. I mean, I feel everything just to make sure in my mind I'm starting from the best place possible. My consultations are thorough. If something don't sound right to me, I'm gonna make you question yourself. Because once I take it off, it's off.
Why are you cutting your hair? Like, what is going on? Because a lot of times it's deeper than just the cut anyway. You're going through a breakup, you're trying to change something.
Exactly. 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 So that part right there. So this is true. This is true.
So Haywood, what's your worst experience that you messed up a client's hair, and how did you deal with it?
Worse. Okay. Let me go for a few.
Okay.
Okay. Um, I had an assistant, and I had put a permanent color on the young lady, and I mentioned to her, I want the conditioner on her after the shampoo. Somehow the conditioner got her on her and under a dryer, and it was a permanent color, and I couldn't see it from the area at the other salon, I would come around and walk down the hallway where the shampoo bowls were. And I looked, what is she doing in the dryer? What? What? What?
She had conditioner on her
No.
color.
She had conditioner on collar, but it was permanent collar under a dryer.
It wasn't dressed out.
It was not risked up. I just immediately had gone into action, popped the dryer up, turned around, lay back. Let me start rinsing you now. And I just looked, this is not a rinse, this is a permanent. So the experience of trying to inform a system, and now you have to say it 3 or 4 times back to me what you want to do, or either I'm gonna have to be there to certain processes get to a certain point that's at a comfort level before I leave it, because once that happens, the hair's great. And sorry sounds coming from her vocal cords to me was like, but I didn't want to hear it. It was like, oh, I'm just trying, let me rinse this out quick. Because I knew it was going to happen. Beautiful, just everything about this person. And I could see the damaging happening. And I saw immediately, I want you to come back in a few more days, not a week, next week or next. We'll put some conditioner, we'll put a reconstructor, almost a moisturizer. No charge. Hey, look, we'll work this out. But it worked out all right. It worked out all her head. And that was an experience of, you mentioned, but you have to double check and you have to follow through to make sure danger zones are taken care of. Certain things you can't come back on because it just comes back on you. And, they had breakage. And we worked through it over a period of time. I think they were enjoying coming back in free services. They just did come on back. I'll give them time, just come on back. And we eventually changed the shape of it. And I said, we'll modernize this look you have and change it. That was one. Another one was not putting formulations, people with the same name on a different chart. And you're formulating what was on the chart, but it's not the same person. And it's like, learn from that. You learn to slow your roll. You learn how to be thorough. Because you can get in a system, you can be rolling. You get stuff lined up for the next day, you get it for this. You get it for, they can smoothly process the service without really make this and get this. You have everything in place from the wrong card. And the one that really was a great learning experience. You have certain chemicals, you said, this chemical doesn't match with this chemical. But this process that's out saying you can do this. And you've been taught certain things don't work. With technology, molecules are smaller, you have more proteins that can penetrate into the hair, you have things that kind of waiver the process that it can keep it healthy and you can still go through it. I said technology changes, and so, you go to classes, you learn different, okay, this helps good. Well, but back in the back of your head said that I need to learn what's going on. And I taught this way, but technology changes, so you're thinking you get the edge on the newness of what's going on. But it comes back to bite you that newness doesn't always work with the principles that you need to follow through. And sometimes you just don't do it. You do it, it's going like, no, I'm not going to do it. You have to know when to fold and said, but maybe other people do it, I can't do it. And I've learned from that. I was speaking earlier, when you have a fall, something happen, it's a humble experience. And your passion is so strong, it hurts the end. And people don't know that you thinking you're doing the best for them. And the best not good enough, you lose the person, and you're marked. It's like somebody put a scar across you. You know, you always remember you got all this, and it haunts you until you get strong enough to say, it's not going to happen. You said, I'm going to master this, I'm going to be a lot better. And you get a chance to, when you fall, you're at different levels. It's okay. I know where it was, get back to that level. It humbles you, and you get an experience that, okay, we stay with the basic. I do a little edge, not further, then I'll make sure it stays healthy, the hair. And once you know, keep that in mind, go through your steps of putting certain proteins in, to cover it. Don't do certain things in the same day. Find the porosity, find the elasticity, find the health of the hair. Or if you will feel that it's gonna work, you just don't do it. And that goes to like people who shells, some people cook, they don't burn up a lot. They don't have it. It doesn't come natural to them. They have enough experience. You get training and experience, and that was another pitfall that kind of keep you in the real. But keep it in mind, and you just keep on going through it. I think about a doctor. They don't save everyone. Every so often, things happen.
Thank you for sharing that. So we're going to go with Simone. Last question, and then we're going to open up some discussion. But Simone, what do you enjoy most about being a hairstylist? What motivates you to continue pursuing this career? What do you enjoy most about being a hairstylist?
For me, I enjoy the people. I'm in the state by myself. I have no family here. And I've been servicing my clients in general altogether for about 10 years. So I have a family here through my clients. Because it's not just doing hair. They end up being like your friends, or if you go out to dinner with them, or like I was saying, the lady earlier, she called me her goddaughter. That's my mama Grace. And even through meeting her, she invited me to volunteer at a food pantry 4 years ago. I'm the assistant director of that food pantry now. And I would have not, that's a whole nother part of my life that opened up peer support. I'm also a certified peer support specialist. I'm registered with the Board of Counsel. Um, I would have never even considered those opportunities if I wasn't already a hairstylist, already meeting people who need what I have. Um, and I just love it. I love servicing my clients. I love being present. I love learning. I like that one-on-one because I work one-on-one. I was in a salon for some time, but now I'm in a suite and I really like it. Um, and I get to meet people. I get to meet the 90% of people. Meaning, like today at church, they talked about life being an iceberg. People only show you the 10%. They only show you the surface of who they are. You don't really, know the 90%, the iceberg. That 90% of that iceberg is at the bottom. So I get to see the 90% of people. I get to see them with no mask on. I get to see the not the representative, like truly who they are. And it just empowers me even more. And I just feel good. I just love it. And you get to get paid every day after you do the service. So chemically, you get that dopamine, don't feel good hormones after you see somebody coming there looking crazy and sad sometimes, and then you're talking with them while you're doing their hair, and they're pouring out, they're giving you everything, and they're telling you their problems, or y'all problem solving together, or you're helping them with a business plan. I've had clients who was able to leave their job based off our conversation because it would spark another idea, or I can give them that confidence that they need in their life outside of the salon to make changes, family changes, or they'll come back and be like, "We had a conversation last time, and you know what I did after that? I like you get some action steps and you challenge them, and they're not most of the time. Well, for me, they're not looking at me. I'm in the back of them, so they're not even looking at me in my face most of the time. So it just makes them feel more comfortable to tell their business. So you just get to learn everybody's business, and and that's cool. I'm inquisitive, and you have to be trusted too as a stylist. You have to have integrity, and people have to know that they can trust you. They can, tell you their innermost secrets. Because some stuff you learn about people, you like, you do that? Like, like they tell you, like, everybody's business and you get to help them. So I like that. But,
Okay. Kim?
Now, I don't feel like Simone. Like I don't feel, and I think it's because I've been in it a while. I started long time ago days when Baby Alive was out when they first came out with that. But I think that what I like about what do I enjoy most? And yes, I can pick it back off of the transformation. The people, when they come in your chair, their shoulders are low. They want to look better. You want to make them feel better. That dopamine, that gratification, you put a smile on their face. Um, and I do like, because this is my ministry, and once I realized that this is what I was called to do, because I was trying to put a mask on it and do all this other stuff, but when I realized that hair is what I'm called to do, and the specialties that go along with it, whether it's a cut or a color or whatever, um, I do like that gratification of changing someone's life. But what I like about who I am as a cosmetologist, a stylist, an educator, um, what I like is the freedom and the independence that it gives me. And I didn't learn this until COVID came, and I realized, well, I'm sorry, I did learn this years ago because I worked corporately for a big bank for years, and I thought once I went to school, I got a degree, and I'm on the sixth floor, and I had you had to use a code to get in my office, and I was bonded and invested in the company, and my 401k looked very nice. Um, I realized that if I have this gift, you can take my job away, but you can't take my craft away from me. And I can always make money. I can always work. If I don't want to work tomorrow, I don't have to work tomorrow. But if I want to work and grind and work, if I want to make $60,000 by Christmas, I have the means to do that, because, and then being with all these people, because until to Simone, I'm just meeting today, but I know everybody in this room that has poured into me. There are different ways to make money as a stylist. You don't have to just do hair. You don't have to, you can do makeovers, and you can do makeup, and you can do products, and it's so many different things in this industry that you can do to actually make money. But I like what this lifestyle affords me, so that if I want to go on vacation, or if I want to go out and have surgery, which I have done, I've had 5 surgeries and I still am able to work and make money. I mean, I have to be smart about saving and doing things and investments, but I like the
You like the freedom.
I love the freedom. I love the freedom. And I'm a very spontaneous person. So if my husband says we're going to the beach tomorrow, we're going to the beach tomorrow. But if I say, no, this lady is coming to get this highlight, low light, and I'm gonna make about 350 real quick. Give me a minute. He said, "Oh, we'll wait. We'll go to the beach when you finish." We leaving for vacation as soon as she done. I don't know what time we going, but we going when my wife finished. You know what I'm saying? So, and I like that. Because when I first started doing hair, or when I first even saying, "Ma, I want to do hair," I'm dying the baby alive. I'm taking my grandfather's shoe polish and tearing up my babies. But they were, they were like, "No, you're gonna go to school. You can be a doctor. You can go get a degree. You need to go get your education. We're gonna get student loans, and we're gonna pack your trunk up, and we're gonna do." And I'm like, I just want to do hair. Like it was, but it wasn't respected as you can make money. She just do hair. That's what it was. Oh, Kim just do hair. But I had these other jobs to say I had a job. But my hair was giving me, was my kids wanted to go back to school shopping. And I remember one Christmas I rocked and rolled and I was working for a chain. And I say that because I was dedicated. I'm always dedicated. But I made so much money for Christmas. It was Christmas Eve. I worked beside the Food Lion. It was 8 o'clock. The grocery store closed at 6, 7, 8 on a Christmas Eve. We didn't have a drop of food, but I had a pocket full of money. And I didn't care where we ate. And that's when I realized the Chinese restaurants are open. Hooters was open. My kids ate Hooters chicken wings for Christmas. And they had everything they want. We didn't have no food in the house because I had worked so much. But I realized that it ain't important. The ham and turkey weren't important because I could have went to mama's house, grandma, anybody's house and got a ham and turkey. But I appreciated the fact that I had a pocket full of money and my kids were happy. I mean, I missed the grocery store though. Like, I'll never forget that. But I like what this career has afforded me. Once I came to grips with the fact that this was my career. It took when I first met Flav, and he was like the first person to mentor me out of beauty school. And they brought me in as a what was I, snitch? Maybe is this what we want to call it? Company snitch. Um but it was great. I was older. I was old. I
You
was
were a
one of the
seasoned
older people.
individual
I,
that
I
had
was
much to give.
I was older, and I was, and I'm still saying I'm 27. So, I'm 27 and been doing hair for 27 years. So don't do the math. But I just realized that, this gave me the type of freedom to meet some great people and I can do what I want to do. If my daughter's having a play or whatever, I didn't have to put in a form where I used to. I couldn't be off on Christmas Eve. I couldn't be off the whole week of Christmas. I couldn't be off because I work corporate and, the older people got to put in their vacation first. I never got 4th of July off or the day after or before or whatever. So it just made me appreciate this so much more now that I'm in this industry and I can make my own schedule.
Okay. Charmaine? Well, you personally, what motivates you to continue in this industry?
I'm finished with the hair piece. I don't do hair anymore.
Okay.
So I have retired, and I mean it. And I mean it. And I mean it. I'm talking to you right now.
They are.
And I mean it. And so, but like Kim said,
Don't you scratch that skin off your face thinking about that same question.
the, the everyone calls me. Everybody knows me. I'm a boss anyway. I'm just and it's not a boss like I'm a boss where I see beauty and I see potential and I see excellence in everyone. I literally can drive down the street and see a homeless person. And I think to myself, put a suit on him, cut his hair, and he had a great opportunity. This man would be a so in my mind, I constantly feel like every situation I work in, I can make it better. And I like to leave situations better than what I can. And that's what hair does. And that's what hair did. So I started out in, going to job, receptionist, and, then moving into administrative roles. And I was at the phone company. And people were like, I remember sitting in my people's bed for like, I don't do that. I'm changing all this on top and I'm typing.
decided to go to hair school. And my school was in front. In Iceland. And because I was there after the youth area, like, don't go Charmaine. And it was such a, and I was, and at that point, I do it now. Like, I gotta go there, I gotta finish this. But the passion was, corporate America, I'm still in that corporate mindset. Anybody that's ever worked with me knows that whenever I bust down and do hair, it always gets shocked to me. But I have a level of excellence that goes. I'm sorry, that goes with everything I try to do, and that and hair gave me that same freedom with my son. Like my son now, they're friends. They're all going, like, Miss Charmaine, you was rich. No, I wasn't. And I'm like, well, maybe I was, because I was able to financially, the financial freedom that hair gave. Hair gave me times where I would start the morning, you start on a Wednesday with nothing. You come, by the time you finish Sunday, you're sitting on, 1,500 cash. And that seems like that's cash, so, and I decide what I do with that. So, it was a financial freedom. It was the interaction with my people, so. And now for me, I'm physically not able or wanting to keep up the pace. What I want to make sure that I can do now to keep that passion and that love is pass it on. I don't want our industry I don't want the ones that love it, like we love it, to get so disenfranchised. I don't want them to think that it's all a quick microwave of a TikTok, and I don't want them to lose that passion. I don't want that creativity to be lost. So to answer your question about what I love about it, I love everything that makes things unique. I love everything that we do to enhance a person's day. We enhance our pockets. We enhance, and then too, we're local celebrities. When you think about stylist, everybody wants to know that stylist. Everybody knows that you do hair. It's such it's almost like you're a ambassador to your community. And you take that responsibility seriously. I do. My daughter said to me, Mommy, everybody knows you. Everybody doesn't know me. I just, done a lot of people hair, baby, or they've been to the school with me, or there's been some experience where we have had a beautiful interaction, and I get to still see that person. Don't get me wrong now, they know you don't play. They know you're going to drag them to success, because I will headlock you to success, trust and believe. But the love is definitely being able to bring out the finer things, and style comes from our community. And that's such a lost thing. And I even remember my first time being in Richmond, and looking at the way girls would dress. I'm like, look at this style. This style is so original. And right now it's this. But let Madonna or let somebody else put it on and run it down a runway in style. Style comes from it. Style comes from the street. Style comes from the creativity. And stylists can reinterpret that. And we innovate so many things. So I want what's coming up behind us to have the knowledge, to have the foundation, so they can take it to another level. Because, like Ms. Haywood was saying, technology is that. But at the end of the day, hair only grows half an inch month. At the end of the day, certain chemicals ain't gonna mix. At the end of the day, you're not gonna get a level 1 to 10 in one sitting properly. So there's not anything you're gonna create that's gonna change the layers of the hair. It's just what it is. And there's only two cuts in the world, either straight or with an angle. So those things are always going to be a genuine nature of hair. So my love is that I get to be. or that's not what it is ending. You know, people, it's like you're no, and then you're like, well, what is it that you're mixing? Then they say, well, no, this is the okay, but it's not the same day. So there's certain things you just not gonna be able to. It's just not.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm gonna complex you guys.
Yeah, come out with the crazy of the things like that. The rules just keep circulating. It's all circular because if you think about now this you know, Jerry Curl's new auntie came to town. Gina, you know, his daughter's back. But the basics don't change. But
I'll
but
be
now,
with it.
but now, you know, Jerry's niece is here, Gina. And that's I'm sorry, I thought the Jerry Curl was always the prettiest thing ever. I think they're gorgeous. So, you know, but people are crying because they can't find the Cameron Curl. Where did it go? Out there. They couldn't find it and they don't know what to do.
Neutralizing solution. Flav, what do you personally enjoy about being a hairstylist, and what motivates you?
Confrontation. What do I personally enjoy about hair?
Do you like talking to your clients?
Being able to take part in them seeing the best that they could possibly be. I feel as though we are visionaries. I have a habit of going into a store and looking at a person, not even talking to the person, just looking at the hair, and literally just recreating something completely outside of what they ever thought they could look like. And I thank God for being able to see that, being able to be a fashion forward individual, to be able to say you can do this. Even with a color, most people think that they can't do color, and I'm just like, color is just color. It's the attitude that you bring along with it. If you want to have purple hair, put purple hair in. It's your business. But when you walk down this runway, I need you to act like you the one who invented this haircut. You know, and it's just being able to give clients that confidence. It's just life altering. I mean, we have such a precious position with clients. We are essential. We are essential. I don't care what nobody said. We are essential. We can walk into a room as we are, and people know that we do something in a creative art. We can touch a person's hair, literally put 3 curls and take that finger and feather that thing to the front and change the swag on anybody. That gift is not taken lightly. We are dangerous with a curling iron. We're lethal with scissors. We are. And I take pride in that. I can honestly say I take pride in the fact that God gave me this talent to be able to share what I see. I take pride in the fact that people trust me. A client trusts you. Anytime a client can go to sleep in your chair and wake up, you got to wake them up when you're done. I'm talking about straight in it. And, you know, but you got to think about that. How many times do you go to a place and you watching everything that goes on versus a place where you know that's where you're going to get rest? I have clients that actually make appointments because they know they're going to get rest. They know that time is not going to be interrupted. They know that I'm going to be there for them at any cost. I'm going to say, you know what? Go back real quick and chill out in my back room. And they will go back and do their work. You know, our chair is a precious place to be. We do so much within an hour, 15 minutes, 2 hours. And it feels good too to know that, by the time that time frame is done, they compensate you very well. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. And I love everything about it. I love the fact that I can go to sleep and dream about it. I love the fact that I can actually lay down in my bed, open my eyes and say, thank you, Lord, and know that I'm not going to work. I'm not going to work. I'm going to have fun with my clients and make money while doing it. I get to celebrate life with my clients. I get to actually celebrate the afterlife with my clients. That used to scare me at one point. But I treasure that, to be able to do a client's hair and literally have their family request me to let me be the last person to touch them before they go to see our maker. I take pride in that. I take pride in that. And I go up in there, have a conversation with them, because to me, you're sleeping just like anything else. But I'm the last one that you get to see in this moment. I take pride in what I do. Okay, let me get up off this pool picture. Go ahead.
What about you, Haywood? What do you enjoy most about being a hairstylist?
I enjoy a lot of it. It's a lot about it. We're in a position to do so much to an individual while they're in the chair, to inspire them, to enhance their appearance, to give them confidence, to promote them, to share our vision of what we see in them or where they can be. Um, a lot of times you have to take them where they are to where you think they need to be. I said, I see it, you just don't. And I always use this expression. If you saw an ugly outfit, would you go buy it? I said, well, get off of this ugly outfit that you have, your style, and let's get something new. You've been wearing it so long, you say it's you. It's you, but it shouldn't be. So I try to make them visualize to enhance and update themselves for actually what they could be. Your practice of what you get into bed and before you go to sleep, you know exactly what you do with your hair every night, over and over and over, saying that. I think it's a systematic order you have created in yourself, but you're dated in your practices. So let's reform your practice to modernize yourself. So sometimes you have to break down levels of habits for them to see the future. You actually, we have such a blessing to be with individuals, to tell them health-wise, not to try to get in their personal life because they bring it to you. A lot of times I say, it's going to cost you extra because, I can take your mouth and style your hair. But since you want to carry it a little, cut it up with them. But something very personal happened to me with this one customer I've been doing 50-some years. And her husband told me everything that we would talk about, she never shared with anyone. And, I would tell her something, she would converse about different things in the family, her hair. She wouldn't let me do certain things. I said, God, this is your hairstyle, not mine. But there was a time I was shampooing her hair. And, I would tell her something, if it looks like it comes to me. And it bothered me. I said, I hate to tell you this. And I said, this is something that's come over me. And I have to tell you this. I said, you're not ready for this, but I'm going to tell you. She said, what is it? She looked at me, her eyes going back and forth. I said, I see death. And she said, don't say that. I said, I didn't want to say that. 3 months later, she passed. But I mentioned to her when at the shampoo ball, I said, get your family together. Speak to each sibling everyone in the family, your wishes. Get people together of things you need for them to know. Because I can see your body, you're tiring yourself. You're doing everything. Give everybody information that you want them to know soon. She said, I hate to tell you this, because we cut up every day. I said, I'm telling you this because this is how I feel. And she looked at me and said, bye. I didn't want to hear that. And then I found she was in the hospital and she missed a few points. What's going on? And the last thing she said to her on the phone, she said, when I see you, I will tell you. And I never had a chance to hear that. But when I had to speak at her, the family asked me to speak reflections at the funeral. And the blessing that we shared from one another, to have a friend so close, and she's gone, but she always spoke of what was good for me, what she felt I needed. And things like that are priceless. These exposures and experience we have in life, it's just different. We enhance them, we bring joy to them. Some customers I may mention, I said, you need to learn how to bring some joy in. I'm burnt out today. I can't help you because you're always down. I said, this week, it's on you. Tell me something to me because you have bring me out. I don't have it no more. I can't help you. It'll be a quiet day. But everyone is going through different struggles in life. And as stylists, there's a certain energy that you pick up because we know individuals. You get our senses change. Youth coming up, styling, it's about, hey, look how I can do this. And the next person, I'm glad I get this. But the levels change as time goes. That's from my experience. And the dedication that you put in the field that you are doing, and the participation that you have with the individual. And some things lawfully, you have to watch what you say, you can still, you can recommend. All of those obstacles are things you know professionally. But they gets to time you can encourage and help, or you just whisper the thing to encourage that individual. You look good on the outside, but I'm trying to get that inside right too. Sometimes they're helping me opposed to me helping them. So it's been beautiful. I love all of it.
Okay. So we're going to open few minutes. We're going to have like an open discussion. If you have anything you want to get off your chest, and also I would like you to tell me where your shop is, some information about yourself, and what you do. We'll start with Simone. Where's your shop, Simone?
Hey, everybody. Again, my name is Simone Johnson. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I recently passed my instructor exam.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm excited about that. I'm also, like I said, a certified peer support specialist. My focus is youth trauma, healing, and reconciliation. Um, and I'm the assistant director of Engage Food Pantry, engagefoodpantry.org. So if anybody knows any donors or sponsors or anybody wants to partner with the food pantry and resource center, let me know. I'm located off Skipwith Road, 3223 Skipwith Road, Suite 7. I'm in the salon suite. I love it. Um, and I'm a connector of all things great. I'm a synergist and I bring good people and good things together. And then when you were speaking earlier, I was thinking about how doctors are always practicing medicine and that's normalized. Like they might mess up, but with stylists, it's like a thing where you can't mess up. Don't mess up anybody's hair. We're practicing hair just like a doctor is practicing medicine. So it don't matter how long you've been in the industry, you're still practicing and evolving. And it's okay. I mean, it's not okay to mess up, all the time, but we gonna have mess ups and that's okay. That's okay. as long as we don't mess up too bad. And even with your client and the haircut, everything the devil had for you, God will make it for your good and his glory. That girl probably needed that. Like she said, she needed that haircut. And probably when she got home, I'm curious. Like when she got home and everybody told her how good it looked, and it's like, how did that, that's another thing that we don't consider. The transformation, it affects us, but we don't see how it affects them and their marriages and their lifestyles. And some marriages have been ignited because of a good stylist.
You
Like-
think so?
Like people would they like I have wives that will get, like he said, they will get so used to the same style, the same look all the time. Like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, do your husband compliment your hair? Or do he have any suggestions? And then you could bring their husband in, and their husband has sent. Well, for me, that has worked, where their husbands will give them, oh, why don't you try this style? Their husbands will send them a style to try, and they'll try it, and it will add to their, love life. I want my clients married with double incomes, so I'm all for y'all staying together. So yeah.
Anybody else want to chime in?
So most of us that have gone through and gotten training, and I maybe because I'm an educator, but mistakes don't happen often anymore. And the mistake probably happened in your early years before you got some training and the consultations and knowing how to do a patch test and knowing the different things. And the same with you, it was right in the beginning. I find that later on, as you get older and you're maturing in this industry, you learn how to communicate with people. And even when they come with, something that is probably off the wall, you can kind of talk them off the ledge and give them something that is a little more, um, yeah, and maybe suggest some other things. I remember having a client, and I knew that, um, just going blonde, back on the going blonde thing, her scalp started burning, and it was like 20 volume maybe. And we've done this before, but what happened was, and I've learned now, even medicines you can be on can change the molecular structure of your scalp or what you can handle, whatever. So as I've gotten older, I'm grateful for that education so that I can, one of my clients, and this is so funny, I'm gonna tell the story quick and then I'm gonna be done. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy now helping students become licensed, and like going to boot camp and getting packed for state board. So that's kind of what I'm doing now in the education field in cosmetology, and just working on my own schedule. My page on Facebook and Instagram is Healthy Hair by Kim. And I work by appointment only. But most of my clients are, I'm seasoned in there. I do take some new people, but most of it is by referrals because I love word of mouth referrals. But I'm working now to help students get licensed and go through boot camp to pass their theory and their practical exam. But I was talking to a lady, and she was probably my most difficult client, and I can tell what's going on in her relationship by the way she walk in and greet me. Like I can tell which man she's dating, and we go by Lexus, Audi, green truck, right? So, and it's because I've been doing her like since beauty school. It's been a long time, but she is, and I tried to fire her. I tried to get rid of her because she's like, I don't have $100 to give you. I just don't clip my ends. I'm like,
Shrimp comes with your relaxed lady. People pay this money today.
so, and this is the thing about, she's like family, but she always comes with issues, and she won't leave me because she finally admitted she likes the way I make her feel. She likes, and I'm like, Don't say that loud. My husband might hear you. But my thing is, you know, a lot of times clients are, they do become like family. They do become like an extension of family, not necessarily family, but they become extensions and they become attached. And I do appreciate that bond that I've created with my clients, and that even during COVID, you know, they were like, hey, you know, we're not in school. It's just me. Can I come back? You know, no. But anyway, yeah. So COVID taught me a lot. COVID taught me a lot about my business. COVID taught me a lot about my craft, and I'm really grateful for where I am. So
Yep.
So, officially, I'm Charmaine Terrell Eaglin. I am the whole name, the whole
Yes.
government. It depends on who you are about what you call me. So get called by all three. But I do have a consulting service. My business is called Style Easy Education. My website is styleeasybeauty.com. And under that umbrella, I have embarked on taking all of the skills that I've acquired over these years and created a couple components. The main component that I have is helping beauty school applicants obtain their licenses. So I write curriculums, I write the full application, all the 11 sections and submissions that you have to send to DPOR. I help with revisions. I also do a consulting piece with that, which has about 4 different tiers of consulting services that I offer. So basically, I take the role that I had as some people's employer in this room, and I took those skills and now I've packaged them for myself. So I will help a school, a salon owner that can transition now into becoming an educational component, because as a program director, as a director of a school for many years, I know about accreditation. I know what DPOR requires for school licensure. I know how to deal with an audit. I know what you're going to have to look for with an inspection. I know the pitfalls that you have to have when you do have a student body. As we all know, Miss E had a huge student body, and I handled them well. And I love every single one of them to death. And they're Mr. or Mr. somebody. I never remember their names, but I have no problem saying, "Baby, what's your name again?" And because no matter who you were, and the teachers used to say, I'm the emergency room doctor, and they're the nurses, because I'm not doing with the baby, come here, good baby, but I'm going to heal you up, I'm going to stitch you up, and I'm going to get you to the nurse. So that was so inside of the umbrella of Style Easy, I also do state board preparation. I do a full, extensive 8-hour hands-on comprehensive course. I also have 3 continued education classes, a cutting class, a basic color class, and I forgot the 4th class. I forgot the 4th class, but so it's Style Easy. And it's Style Easy. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. I do my little fake content. My content creation is a challenge for me. So I have to just let my personality just go. And I have to just let it do what it do. But I have some upcoming things happening this year that I'm excited about. I can't really say yet because it's a little bit of a conflict right now, but I have some new, very exciting things that are happening within the next year that I'll be able to offer. And my goal is to take what I did for other people, for other companies, and at the end of the day, why do we not have a Bonner Brothers here? Why do we not have a hair show in Richmond? Why do all of us pack up and go to Atlanta when DC, Philly, Maryland, the Carolinas, everyone knows we are the highest number of people that are at Bonner Brothers. You say, where VA at? Everybody in the place will scream. So we need to give Mississippi, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, because they're doing hair down there. Do not think for 1 minute they're not smoking hair down there. A run for their money and have our own Mecca. Why do we got to go? Why do we got to go to New Orleans? There should be all the industry heavy hitters here in Richmond can collate, get together, and create these things locally. So, Style Easy Education is my new baby. I had to decide I was doing hair more socially. I realized it was because my mentor with the Small Business Association, he kept saying, Charmaine, you're just doing this because you love these women. And I was like, no, I don't. He's like, well, why are you doing it? And I was like, but, and then I realized, okay, I'm just doing this because I love these women. So I started dwindling them down to 20. And I got down to 15, and I got down to the 5, and I still have 1 or 2 that will literally come on my phone like they don't know I retired. But again, Style Easy Education is the name of my brand. I'm very, very proud of it. I've been working very hard on it. It has in my quiet meditation and prayer, I literally had a staff meeting in a dream the other day, which was it was all the confirmation that I needed. So I'm just happy. When this opportunity came to come today, I kept everything tried to keep me from getting here today, but I met some say you're supposed to make it to this forum. So, and you guys have always showed up for me as an advisory board. So I had to be here. So look out for me. We got some things coming.
Okay. Flava, you got anything to get off your chest? Or where you're located?
Oh, so I don't know about off my chest. I've reasons about that already. So I'm the proud owner of, I'm the servant leader of Salon Chic by Flame LLC. The reason why I said that is because I just thought about it. I don't own this, that God owns this. I'm a servant leader to it. I am a newly acquired apprenticeable salon, as I would say. Yes. So I currently have 2 apprentices who are now sitting, learning, loving, appreciating, registered with the state officially. So I promise you, I'm still absorbing. I'm still absorbing. I'm so grateful. I'm honestly, I'm grateful. I'm just grateful. I just feel as though with the help of colleagues that literally have been in my corner in some capacity, God has literally been the orchestrator. Literally. I pray about it before I know it. I'm like, what in the world? So things just happens. It just happens. You got to be careful about the things that you speak. Life and death lies in the power of their tongue. You got to be careful with the things that you speak. You got to be careful with the energy that you have in your heart to speak them. Okay? So if you don't want it, don't speak it. But if you do want it, you best believe he's going to take you through. He's going to take you through some of them bushes real quick. Okay? And I'm like, Lord, I don't know. Wait a minute. And he's like, you just asked for this. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's do this. Thank God for a praying mother and even more for a praying grandmother. Because I know when they see him, they're going to be like, oh, my baby, that type of situation. But the salon is located in Mechanicsville. It's on the borderline. It's 8094 Elm Drive, Sweet Beat, in the back. Upstairs, prayerfully, and I know it will be, I will have the whole building. And also in the process of looking for an additional building to add on to that extension. I'm just, once again, I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm truly thankful that I have so many people that believe in me when sometimes, I'm not going to say I don't believe in myself, but sometimes it's just one of those things to where it's like, I don't know if I'm ready. And I have to be human. And it's one of those things to where you do question yourself sometimes. But it's wonderful to have that person to say, you know what? You realize you're already in it.
Let me say, you're not giving it all. Wait a minute, you're not giving it all. When I met Flav, he was a young educator, and I had to train him at Empire, and he was a sponge and literally was one of the most excited teachers and made that exciting for me. But he's leaving out the fact that he is teaching salon. So his salon has the ability to not only educate the stylists that are there, have them acquire the hours that they need to sit for state board testing, but also work hand in hand with those individuals with their OJT. So that is something that is not easily obtained. Unfortunately, we don't do all the correct licensing requirements, and it's not hard. As the state representative that does that, it's really because we duck and dodge licensing unnecessarily. Deport is not your enemy. You know, the Department of Labor, Virginia Works is not your enemy. These agencies Virginia wants you to work. What's called Virginia Works. Right. So trust me, you're missing out on when you have a salon license and you're licensed with the right agency, there is funding to help your students with acquiring their education, getting their kits. If your individual has a disability, there's disability assistance for someone that has a difficult time reading. Someone that may have obesity is a disability. And all you have to do is self-identify. So these types of agencies are there, and they have money, and it's not so much even just there's money. COVID opened up to show the world that you've got to take care of people so that they can take care of making other people more money. So taking care of certain communities and demographics became a floodgate. So federal funds are available, state funds are available, but it's just about that licensure. And understand this too. Those DPR, with me now being in the state, the investigators are real. The investigators will knock on your door. The investigators call me to ask if a salon is legit, and I'm like, Lord, please, I'm trying to help you hurry up. They'll work with you, but you know how I remember never seeing an investigator in all the years, but now being my other life is working for the state, and they're out there, and they will violate you. I'm a liaison for deport, so going to sit for hearings and seeing them, revoke people's licenses and, see the testimonies, that's real. So
Real quick, what are some? I'm just curious because you in there. What is like one of the top one or two things that you've seen somebody get their license taken for?
So deport is not a license taker. What happens is people don't renew their licenses.
Oh,
So
and
it's
they keep working
and they
without
keep
it.
working without
Yeah.
their license. And also, too, you have to have a salon license to work in the state, too. So you can have your license and just work, individually. But if you have a salon, you have to have a salon license to operate. And a salon license to operate is not a difficult thing to acquire. It's not at all. You pay the money, you give them your layout, you go up there, and
Yeah.
I got you. So the things that I see mostly is a lot of salons don't have licenses. They get caught with having other people work under their license that aren't licensed. Um, Right. And with apprenticeship, let me just make sure I put this out there. Your apprentice is not officially an apprentice until you register them. So just because you were an apprenticeable salon and you did an apprenticeship 20 years ago, that does not mean that you can just pop somebody in your shop. You still have to register them because the state of Virginia requires some type of licensure to operate.
That's what happened to me. I got
Oh,
into
we're
salon
about to.
grader, and then I was like, I want to go to school. And then the lady was like, I want to go to school. So she had to do all this paperwork with the Donna Carvana lady.
Donna's my coworker. Donna's my boss now.
Yeah, that's shout out to her. She came and she got all of that stuff straight. So yeah, you're right. And I'm glad that y'all talking about this because that is something I really would like to do. I really would like my own salon. Like I have a whole vision in my brain where I want the salon next to a daycare center, and
Everybody has that dream. And every single one of us has that dream. Now, there isn't a stylist sitting anywhere that doesn't dream of having a salon. And that is not that's like I dream that I can eat ice cream. That's an obtainable dream. Having
Very
your own
much.
salon is an obtainable dream, but understanding accounting, understanding how to order, understand continuing education, understanding how to booth rent as opposed to
Commission, yeah. Crazy.
knowing how to get the right breakdown of commission, because booth rent, and this is just my opinion of booth rent is dead end. Booth rent, you can't go any higher. Once you put somebody in at booth rent at $150, that's all you're gonna make ever. You may have them boost, up to 200-300, but that's never gonna be a money maker for a stylist.
Yeah.
So if you plan on growing a salon, I want to educate a salon. I want a commission-based salon where we all make money together. So licensure again is so easy, and it's unfortunate that we run from licensure and we run from staying legit, and half the apprentice that we see, it's people that should have been apprentices. But coming from the corporate side with
They could
Virginia,
have been had they
they
license.
could have been had their
Yeah.
licenses, and it's really a matter of having us come to your shop, sign your shop up, 4 pieces of paper, get your apprentice through there. With me now running it, you're not gonna have an apprentice in there for 2 and 3 years either. You need to get that person licensed. They can't hide behind an apprenticeship license. You're not doing them a favor.
So they can't be there for 2 or 3 years.
No,
No.
absolutely not.
That's too
Okay.
long.
They used to.
It's actually dated. She gives
It's
you an
18
official
months.
date,
I give you a
beginning
date.
and end.
Okay.
And think about this. Think about what we did as educators. You keep someone hidden behind an apprenticeship license. What service are you providing them? You're basically hobbling that person. And they're not out making the money that they can make. They're not having the confidence that they need to have, and they're also avoiding going to school.
This is the first time I heard apprenticeship sound attainable.
Apprenticeship is easy. Then let me tell you what
That's
happened.
because people don't talk about
Let me
it.
tell you what happened. They hired me, right? I wasn't looking for a job, but I saw this on the state after Virginia College closed. Everybody knows Virginia College closed abruptly. They told us on Wednesday, we'll see y'all later. Y'all have until Friday. So I took about 3 years to just chill. I just did hair. I was like, I gotta do this anyway. Because my thing is, I ain't gotta do this, I can do hair. It's always been I quit this job.
Thanks.
So I saw the job and I was like, let me go for it. Because I was an apprentice. Donna signed me up 20 years ago. Ooh, I just so mad.
It's okay.
Told
hers too.
Right. Donna's now our director. But so they saw my resume and they were like, at first I was supposed to be an apprentice for all occupations. But then they asked me would I just do service trade. So that's barbering, cosmetology, esthetician, nail, master esthetician. And I was like, yeah. But then it was like, no, the whole state of Virginia. So now it was too much, and I asked them. My admin got promoted up to being what my title is. Now we split the state. So I still keep Richmond. I still have Richmond, Charlottesville. We'll cross over regions when we have to, but Hampton Roads sometimes. But he has Hampton Roads in Virginia. But apprenticeship before, God bless their hearts, they weren't in the industry. And just like you said earlier, they just do hair. I say just do hair till you're bald. They just do hair until they cut your toe, and now you got a blood-borne infection, and then it ate through your foot. So what I did, number one, I made the paperwork uniform. So when you get an email or you get any communication from me, it's specific, and I do it in paper. I'm not coming to your shop. Why? This is 2024. I might as well set the tie to a pigeon and throw it out the door. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna reach out to you. You're gonna have to email me. I'm gonna email you back. We're gonna communicate. We're gonna get the information that we need. I'm gonna get your salon established. I want to know all the stylists that you have in the salon that's gonna be supporting that apprentice. And once that support happens, you create the program, and then you run the program. You don't have your people will get their apprentice to call me, and I say, do they call Dominion Power when your lights go out? You're the sponsor. You're the educator. You're the new empire. You're the Virginia College. You're the LB Beauty. So yeah, you can't call me. The sponsor can't call. A student cannot call me. Sorry, they get mad, but it's so apprentice. Now the apprenticeship model is one that helps our community. You don't, and plus you're paid as you go. You get paid. You pay this apprentice, and if say you can't afford your apprentice, you can't afford $12 an hour. Your apprentice can be on a sliding scale. You can put your apprentice on as long as they make it $480 a week. They're in commission because that's $12 an hour for you a week. So that's what their goal. So if they don't make 480, then you need to train them up as an educator. You know how haircut work or a smart style or Regis. When your stylists are in commission, you gotta train them up to commission. They got 3 weeks to get in commission, or we do what? Are you serious? The apprenticeship's the same thing. You're the employer.
Yeah.
You're the employer. You're literally the employer. You hire them, you train them, and then you send them to school.
Yeah, I knew about it. Well, because when I had my salon, it was under apprenticeship. I was signed up with a gentleman that worked.
Well, his name is Rick.
It wasn't.
Was it one Rick?
He worked for the feds.
So that was we. So there's a federal, but I don't know who that person is. In the time I've been there, I've never seen that person. I've seen some of the shops that he's set up.
Yep. He was
So
one of them.
but then once you're in a principal salon, you can choose where you want your students to go to get their technical training. So just hold tight on that. Just
But I don't have a salon anymore. But it was.
you can choose Richmond Tech, Chesterfield Tech. Since COVID, you can go online, but the theory piece can be hybrid.
Mhm.
There's just so many different options now for you to be able to educate a person. Because once the apprenticeship's over, it's only 18 months. You only need 18 months. And now with the Cosmo hours dropping down to 1,000, the school apprenticeship is going to drop down to 2,000 eventually. We just got to wrap up the word process. But when it drops down, I'm going to be 12 months.
Mm.
Now here's the thing. Just because you got a license, we all know that does not mean you're ready to go.
Exactly.
There still needs to be junior stylists, um, middle level stylists, and then senior stylists. Because even myself, there's so much stuff now. I couldn't lay a melt or lace front if you wanted me to. It doesn't fulfill me. So laying a wig is just not something. But these girls are out here and guys are laying them.
So I want to pivot real quick. And okay, so my main focus, I am a licensed cosmetologist, but I do focus on natural hair, braiding, weaves, that type of thing. And I want to know from you, do you one think that the natural hair care and braiding license can or will come back? And how do we as braiders in particular and natural hairstylists, how do we bridge that gap in your opinion, your professional opinion with cosmetology? Because my thing is I do try to encourage other braiders because people call me all the time like, are you hiring? And I'm not a salon. I'm just a suite, but I promote like a salon. And my thing is a lot of braiders want to do hair all the time, but they don't want to get the education that's necessary. And but that's the problem. Hair braiding is not regulated in the state of Virginia. It's a free for all.
So here's what happens with natural. I was going to say with natural hair and braids, what's happening? My godmother in DC, for instance, we just had this conversation the other day. She went to get her hair done, and all my clients keep coming back with these horror stories trying to guilt me back into doing their hair. So she went to a stylist in DC, Northern Virginia, got her hair done. The girl shampooed her hair. My godmother's locks are down to here. Didn't condition her hair. And she was like, "Don't you condition?" Because she was so used to me conditioning her, put her processing cap on, softening those locks and having that stuff flow. I'm like, your hair needs to move like anybody else's hair, and your locks shouldn't be rock hard. Your locks should be soft, right? So she was like, "Well, my goddaughter," and then she ended up paying this girl like I think she said like $170 for a shampoo. And right. So my answer to that is anytime you put someone in a chair People on them, and they believe in their mind that you have been trained to understand that shampoo continues to shampoo until I neutralize it with conditioner. Don't we all know that?
Yeah.
Don't we all know that a co-wash, you're telling me you're just gonna keep on piling conditioner up on someone's head and you're never going to?
Like using fabric softeners.
Yeah. So,
It's the basics.
so the basics, so to answer that question, I don't believe that anyone should be touching anyone's hair and putting that type of trust in someone that doesn't know. Even as a cook of what is sous chef, you still got to do serve safe.
Yes, there's a certification.
Don't you have to at least
Absolutely.
know
Even
how
at
to
the food
not
pantry.
contaminate meat?
Absolutely.
So
But-
why wouldn't a basic understanding of sanitation and infection control be required for everybody?
Because the girl that do braids in her apartment is taking the phone off.
Or even in the
Well, that's the- that's the- that's the issue.
Before I had a license.
That is the issue right
And I
now.
don't say
Is
that because my daughter is the A1 braider, but she's also a cosmetologist, so she understands. She has her clean comb, she has her dirty comb, she has her herbicide, she has all of that, everything. But that's the difference between her work and somebody else's. But the same people are on Stylists charging $300
Yes.
for a head of braid.
And they want you to come shampooed already and bring. But
And
that's the
paying
thing.
the
How do we translate to the braiders? And that's one thing. And I don't want to sound like because I was that girl. But at some point we have to come up as a community, and I think that the hair braid and natural hair care license should come back. So maybe I'm telling you that so you can show me how to advocate for it. Cause
That's just like
Okay,
saying,
let me thank you for saying that, and I hope that I get to come back and talk about this again. I'm sorry, I couldn't cut across you. Do you know that DPOR has their meetings online, and they tell you every hearing they have and what they're hearing, and what they're talking about? You can get on the docket and just talk about anything you want to see in the industry. Do you know when I go sit in those meetings, nobody's there. None of us are there. You have the tattoos, because all that's under the same board. You'll have people from the barbers are there. The barbers are there. So and unfortunately I can't. And I sit in my seat and I'm like, oh, I want to pick up a chair, but I can't say anything because of the role that I'm in, because I wear two hats. You know, I still work for the state, but I'm still like, don't do that. And I'm like, no, don't cut that out. You know, when they were lowering the hours and they were putting it together, I was like, no, please don't take that out. You know, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, ooh, I don't want to get my hair done here.
So we gotta advocate as stylists,
You
just
have to
like in
advocate
the
as stylists.
community.
And you have to also get on the board. Like literally, there's a link that you can go through and say, how do I become a board member? And see if you can get a government appointed and go through the application process and get the representation. 'Cause they
I got more responsibility.
So but yeah, you gotta understand, it changes the dynamics. Because I've actually had to be confrontational to a certain degree. I actually had a young lady that she wanted to rent a space from me, and I do research, right? Working for my chain, you're taught to actually do research to see exactly if you have those hands, and to do interviews and on the spot. Because if you tell me that this is your capabilities, you should be able to walk over, bring your shears, walk over, and grab a regular comb and be able to recreate whatever you say you're going to create. But this individual, she was doing everything. I mean, literally everything. And one thing I did notice that when she actually did do her practical for me, she never changed case, never used an extra, never changed her comb, because I said to her, simulate doing a different client. When I say that, in my head, that means
Yep.
each time I need to
So
see that.
you remember you're coming from the education world. And one of my sister agent, one of the investigators in Northern Virginia, she's like, she's never seen a salon a school that's doing it right. And I'm like, you didn't come to my school. You didn't come to my school. And I told her, I said, my school did. And I'm gonna tell you why my school did. Because my school knew I didn't play with that. That was something, sanitation, infection. I can't teach you how to do hair. Sorry. And I would tell students at an orientation, you knew how to do hair before you came in here. I'm going to show you how to not have that same bald spot that all women continuously have, because guess what? It's fungus. And you've passed it from comb to comb to comb to comb to comb. And you notice that all women are thinning in them same areas. We know the traction alopecia. We already know what that is. But that balding spot right there, you go to the right, what's it called, trichologist?
You know the name exactly.
And you will find that that's fungus. You have past fungus from Colorado. And we're not taking responsibility as professionals in this industry. And
I be letting my clients see me washing stuff down, putting the combs in there, like, you know, this is a safe space.
And that's the thing too. And when you find out these individuals don't have proper training, don't have licensing, and they're charging more than you.
Yeah. And that's what's pissing me off.
What do you do with that situation? And then it's a matter of, now you call me, ask me if you are a licensed stylist, ask me professional questions, because you don't know what you did.
See, there's a positive aspect to this now. If they're coming to you as a professional and now you have the credentials to set the tone, you do better when you know better. And I don't mean to, I'm gonna find the silver lining in all of this. At this point, as much as they're doing is what they know. And everybody has to eat. Everybody gotta make money. I don't knock anybody that's going here in their house. If you gotta make money, you gotta make money. But I wanna make sure that I can get you legit. And I want you to not just make 600. I want you to make 6,000. I want you to see the endless possibilities of prep licensure. Because guess what? The ones that are properly trained, the ones that are RedKit trained, the ones that are taking the additional color classes from Guy, Tang, and everyone else, they are making hand over fist. I'm in the shops. I see multi-million-dollar salons. And when I'm walking in Fredericksburg and Charlottesville and all these other places and seeing these shops in the beach area, and I'm looking like, this was a multi-million-dollar salon. How did they make that money? There's a stopgap somewhere, and it's in legitimacy. I'm telling you, I see it. When I see the apprentices that are completing and the apprentices that aren't, I'm helping you by keeping your apprentice in your shop for 14 years. I'm not helping your apprentice. I'm 5 years, 3 years.
I've seen that.
Other leaders, you supposed to be bringing people up so they could bring somebody up and prepare the table.
Well, on that note, we can continue this on our next podcast, but that concludes our podcast for tonight. Thank you.